let's do these. Here in the Kung Fu Cup. Bets are up if you want to place them. As we have at the bottom right to start us off in this best of 3 ZvP. Make some zergy sounds if you are cheering on Serral from Basilisk. In the top left, our red Protoss is going to be from Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Alright, game 1 of the best of 3. We get this underway. I am going to steal someone's camera. Because they are better observers than I am, quite frankly. I learned this yesterday in ESL. I was doing the observing, I was like, man, it's obviously tough when you're casting, like, you know, with someone all day, and on top of that, you're just doing all the production and stuff, and it's tough to be good with the observing all day long, but there was definitely moments where I was like, oh my god, I just missed like 3 things in a row. Like, first I missed like a probe down here, then the Widow line drop, like I was playing catch-up all the time. Definitely noticed a couple of moments where the observing was a little bit not ideal, to say the least, I guess. Yay. Alright, but beyond that, we'll see how that goes. Does anyone know how MaxPax looks? I think he looks with his eyes. It's a pretty common phenomena where you use your eyes to look at things. And that's, I actually think, how he also plays StarCraft 2. He looks with his eyes at the screen, and he identifies the information he sees there, analyzes it in his head, processes it, and then does things based on what he's looking at. So yeah, so something like that. What do you know Indy to observe for us? It's okay, we don't need Indy. Indy's a really good observer, and there's a reason why Indy's very consistently good at observing, is why I go to Indy a lot. Indy and Inu are my top choices, but a lot of people are good at observing. Honestly, it's not even necessarily about being good at observing as well. I tell you what it is, when I don't have to observe, and I can just chill out a little bit more, I notice more things happening in the game, because instead of trying to pay attention to being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna follow these zerglings smoothly, and I'm just gonna like be like eager eye on the mini map, and oh, I'm just gonna click here for this overlord and think about, oh, what do we need to look at? Like I don't have to think about that stuff, so I can actually think about more of what's going in the game, and then I actually notice more of what's happening because the process of observing isn't, using my memory. You know, I only have so much brain power, and the process of observing is not quite as automatic as you might think. And I definitely noticed that I cast a lot better when I use someone else's camera, because then I'm also, if they're looking for things, I'm also looking for things too, and we actually notice more overall. So there's more of a reason than me just being lazy, basically. It's more than me just being lazy. I can't be bothered to observe. I actually just think it makes the quality of watching the stream better. And if these guys are going to observe for their own channels anyways, then we may as well just take advantage of that, right? So yeah. Couple links coming around. Queen at the front. I bet all 800 of my points in Serral I will share with you when I win. Nice. Yeah, guys, again, just to reiterate, the logos from the ESL Masters are going to be on the stream, because I'm going to forget to put the logos file back on tomorrow when I do ESL again, so I'm not going to take them off. I'd rather just keep them on for the sake of turning them off and taking them on, because it's not just like clicking a button. It's like you've got to take a file and remove it from a folder and then put it back in the folder and reset StarCraft and all that kind of stuff. Next step, Woody's getting someone to commentate for you, then you can sit back and collect the ad revenue on a private island. Oh my god! You guys are so smart! You guys are so freaking smart. Look, if you guys want proof that I make good use of not observing, do you guys think I could cuddle this squishy infestor? You guys think I could cuddle this squishy infestor on my lap? While, observing? No, absolutely not. And everyone knows I clearly am going to cast and commentate better if I'm cuddling a squishy infester. So if that ain't proof, I don't know what is. Now, to the action, because there's Ling Bane coming up here, and Serral is really going to double down on this Ling Bane play to start us off. So he is really going for this. A lot of it coming up, 41 drones only. He wants to get some damage done, that is for sure here. So we'll see what he can do. A few Banes morphing in. Our Queens are coming across the map. And Serral is going to go full steam across the map. Away we go to the other side. Feelings continue to gather around for the moment, and just seeing our Ling Bane begin to come to the front. A couple of Oracles going to activate. Ling's getting turned back around. Bane's going to run forward, and we just drop a force field in. Battery doesn't do much when the Bane's busted down quickly. The pylon down, so the second battery doesn't do much either. Well, Oracle's still overhead. The Queen nabs one of the Oracles, however, so that's going to get picked off as well. Can the Queens maintain enough of a presence here to keep these Oracles away and to stop them from defending? Well, Oracles continue to take some damage. More Lings. I mean, Ling's obviously great in this scenario. We do power back up the Super Battery, but it's under fire. It's going to die. A couple of Banes reaching into the center. I mean, Banes against the Depths would be nice right now, too, as the few Lings do what they can. I don't think this is enough from Serral, guys. I don't think he's pushing through. He's getting a Rotron behind this, but obviously his drone count's been low, and the damage he's done is very superficial considering the investment. And it looks as though MaxPax is going to be in absolute prime shape to hold on here in game number 1. Our Lings wrap around, all of our Stalkers just getting picked away at. And it looks as though Serral is going to have himself a pretty good cleanup, a pretty good shutdown on everything that's going on here. Very nicely done. Stalker in the corner gets picked off as well. Other Stalkers getting surrounded, picked away at. Oracles overhead. Still just lasering Lings whenever possible, as those Lings do escape out down to the south. Lair building up from Serral on this forward base. Again, he's just not got the tech he needs in this game, and this is a fantastic start here for MaxPax. He's going to be booming away in the early stages. Wonderful. Things pulled back over to the left as our Stalkers. We'll get a few Ling kills here, just picking off a couple of those. Roaches still coming out, more drones being brought in. Our Oracles are still overhead, and Queens showing up for a couple of moments. A bit more damage onto them Oracles, chasing them away back up the upper right side. So they're still coming through, that's about to finish. Melee upgrade to back this up as well. All these Oracles just sitting overhead. The Stalkers continue to push on through the middle of the map, heading to that bottom right-hand side. Stalkers grab one Overlord, just going to see the Oracle, getting that Rebel Stasis Ward down. As we're going to have someone to just back up into as well. Here's MaxPax. Use those Stasis Wards to get away sometimes. Serral's Lair is done, so he starts up the roach speed, and he begins to prep himself to try and deal with this attack, but, you know, he was in the process of trying to get more drones back up. More Ling there, just getting caught. We still see these Stalkers pressing to the front. Roaches, Ravagers trying to fight. A couple Stalkers getting chased away. Stalkers just chasing Lings around still, and we do have ourselves Serral having defended the first wave. I mean, the army's still there. The army's still kind of waiting to go again, so it's not all done and dusted just yet, but I guess a few moments of chill time. Stalker still wanting to come through, and Ling's getting caught up a little bit as well. A couple of Lings just going to back away for a few moments. A couple of Corrosive Vials coming down. Stalkers taking shots. Slings, Roaches, Ravagers, Queens all pressing on forward. A couple more Corrosive Vials, and so far, I gotta say, kind of impressed that Serral's been able to keep MaxPax at bay. Stasis Ward catching a few of those units. Serral not being punished for that, though. MaxPax not finding the moment to move in. MaxPax still just improving the situation. +2 attack, +1 armor coming up. Serral getting that infestation pit. Slow Baneling's just going to waddle into this mineral line. If Serral can actually get a bunch of probe kills like this, that's incredible. He needed something, man. He's been trailing for a while. He's been trying to recover, and looks like probes pulled on the wrong mineral. I'm not sure if Baneling's tried to go there at the same time, but MaxPax didn't defend on the left side, and that was the important connection, so there you go. Stalkers continue down, and we do have our Oracle still hanging out overhead. Revelation to pick away at a little bit more group spread. Bane's coming up, Roach's Ravagers coming in. Just continue to chase on through the Lings, continue to wrap around some of those Stalkers, and we do just get the push back that little bit further. And with the economy damage done on the other side, Serral is perhaps right back into this. Kind of enjoying it for him, as we do see these Stalkers going to try and push down into this hive or so. Roaches, Ravagers, the Lings continue across. Stalkers continue to have to get out of there for the moment. And we do have a couple more corrosive bars continue to drop on through. Warp Prism is still up in the skies, and Zealot Stalkers continue to trade out. A couple of corrosive bars coming down. The Zealot's still being chased. As our Zealot's taking some extra damage. The Zealot's coming around the right side. Lings are being picked away at, and we do have our hive now completed. With a corrosive bile just pushing Stalkers back. I mean, instead of losing some drones, MaxPax finally getting some of the damage he needs here, right? Getting some of those drone kills, taking those down a little bit is a big deal. Internal glance coming up from Serral. I mean, just slowly with that hive, trying to get into a better and better spot. He's still mostly on just low-tech units, which isn't, ideal. He's going to run up into the stasis ward, so Serral getting caught. Not a great spot to be caught in. Those units maybe picked off a little bit. We'll see if he can reinforce for now. Actually, MaxPax going to make a play for the hive. Extra Stalkers warping in. Looks like we're going to double down over here. Serral's also dealing with aggression in the upper right at the same time. Looks like he shut that down and will launch counterattack. And these Stalkers, well, about to have the Roach Ravager pop out, so we've got to be careful. Those extra stasis wards that have gone down, so you don't want to run into another one of those too quickly. Counterattack of Serral has done absolutely nothing as we continue to focus here on the larger fight. Stalker count is so good, and we're going to get some Zealots to now start buffering for these Stalkers as well. That's going to go a long way to making this overall just that much more viable. Baneling's still crashing in. A lot of probes going down again, but maybe too little too late as Serral loses his hive tech. Well, that may not be the biggest deal right now. Further down the line, obviously, I would say that... I'd say further down the line, definitely expecting Serral to be a bit more... I want to say... maybe in need of Vipers and so. I guess for now, the hive just getting drill glands was already pretty much all you could afford, and all he really needs against Stalkers. When the tech improves further from MaxPax, then that would be brilliant. Yeah, not having that just yet. Now, a little bit of Ling Ravager continues to go back and forth, continues trying to figure out just what we're going to do here. Just going to continue on forward. A couple of Queens going to turn around with that Ling Roach Ravager. Baneling's crashing into more and more probes, getting nuked down all over the place. And here we go with these Roaches chasing through. Stalkers taking hits. Zealots take out the hatchery in the upper right corner as well. And a stasis ward catching a group of the Roach Ravager in the bottom left as well. So getting that catch is also a nice little addition for the moment. Roaches, Ravagers continuing around. See the Temple Archives continuing up for the moment. I mean, more tech from MaxPax I don't think would go amiss here, right? I don't think we can be too upset about that. Stalkers and Zealots just going to catch everything, and that's going to be Serral without any units left over. MaxPax is going to get the win here in game number 1, and that's going to be GG's to start off. In the bottom right-hand corner, our blue Zerg representing Basilisk. I nearly said Ents, build team. Some things don't die easily, I guess. From Basilisk, though, down a map, it's Serral. A blue Zergy. As in the upper left, our red Protoss. We do have MaxPax. Game 2 of this best of 3. I'm gonna say Serral really kind of dictating the last game with the early attack. I wonder a little bit as to what the approach will be going into round 2 this time. Hatch, cool. Coming down to start things out. A couple of drones continuing in as well. Gas and pool coming up, a couple drones continue in. Next is still continuing through, and our probe comes back over the side. As the drone just continues to nibble for a little while longer. Pool finishes up again, couple queens, couple lings, all coming out, couple drones still producing as well. So initial probe, having a little bit of a scout around, nothing too crazy. Couple lings now going to chase it back, and we do have our hatch. Obviously in location as well, always nice. You'd get that in place rather than being forced onto the 3rd position, etc. It's always nice for Zerg. And yo, Dagon1292, thank you so much for the 14-month resub as well. As we do have our Nexus about to finish, Twilight Council is on the way, couple probes coming up, Adept starting, Warp Gate also building. Yeah, so it gets its 3rd hatchery started with the link speed. Obviously with the Twilight Council, we're going to see a very aggressive opening here from MaxPax with the Glaives. Most likely he does. I mean, MaxPax is a player who a lot of the time does mix it up, and instead of just going Glaives, will actually play the Dark Shrine into Archon drop a lot nowadays. So that's a little bit of a possibility for him. There's a Twilight finishing. He's got less workers on gas, though, and that generally means... oh, did he actually just pull the worker off? No, it is going to be Glaives. I just saw extra workers going back on, so I don't know if I'd seen it incorrectly or so, but yeah, that's going to be our setup. As our Resonating Glaives comes through. So it is just going to be Glaives 3 gates. Now, 3 gates typically can lead into a few different things. Obviously a faster expansion, but also sometimes some different kinds of aggression that can still come your way. For example, you could go into actually 6-gate Robo off of this sometimes, is kind of the, you know, aggressive plan. You can also take, you know, Robo Bay and kind of tech up here. You can also play... Well, I mean, I guess you don't really have any Robo down just yet, so longer we're without that, those kind of ideas, I guess, don't come into fruition. But there's a couple of assimilators. Like I say, Robo Bay could still be a choice down the line. What else could you really do off of these Glaives with 3 gates of them? Like I say, just taking a Nexus is not a bad choice. Now we have all 4 gases working away. Yo, Kipstier86, thank you so much for the gift of sub to RemsTV. And Fi944 on the 4-month resub on the Prime as well. Double Stargate on the follow-up. I was going to say, you know, we were... we were kind of working our way through and trying to figure out what we were going to do. And I got to say, that was like, well, there's no Robo still. And, you know, so kind of my initial ideas were all gone. And Double Stargate's going to be the way he plays this. This is one of the ways in which he actually did take a victory off of the off of his opponent. In what was it? When he played the Double Stargate and he was able to get a win. I actually have no idea. Yeah, it happened a while back. It's on my YouTube channel. And it was this Mass Phoenix play, and it forced a very long game, and MaxPax was able to win it out in the end. So it's something that MaxPax has done to Serral before. I can see the map as well in my head. It was one of the maps from the last map pool. I just can't think about it at all. But yeah, we're on our way to Phoenix. Double Stargate Phoenix going to be our setup. And yeah, I'm kind of down for it, man. I am absolutely down for it. Phoenix coming through, Roaches, drones, lair, all building up at the moment as well. Get our battery into the 3rd base location. Baneling Nasty Evo Chamber. Only still coming up, getting that Roach on the way out as well for the moment. Roach speed continuing to come on through. And a few extra Phoenix also being set up at the moment. So far, so good as our robo facility gets started from MaxPax. He's going to grab that Overlord. It's obviously a good start. Serral is going to have to try and find the defense as he goes here. That's going to be an important part of this. Trying to keep on top of it all as our Phoenix dive on in. Gonna get rid of a couple of those drones just to start out. 7 drones already going down here, and just having our adepts trying to get in towards this Nashville. Gonna lift off. A Queen already under fire, so Queen's getting picked away at. Challenge is starting on the back end of this from MaxPax. Obviously, one of the main goals of these Phoenix is to be extremely efficient. They've not found that yet. 9 adepts going down is not exactly a great aid in all of that. So now we see our Phoenix coming through and lifting up a couple of these Queens. They do get one of the Phoenix, so that's obviously great because Phoenix are not being efficient if they're actually dying, right? So, yeah, actually nice to get rid of one of those. It's a pretty big deal. It's continuing over, a lot of roaches being lifted up. Super Battery trying to heal up what it can. There's an Immortal that's showing up here in a moment or two. We're going to kill the Super Battery. Should be a good amount of probes going down as these roaches continue to work their way through this mineral line. Honestly, probe count hasn't dropped as heavily as I thought it might initially. 6 workers only so far. MaxPax. Yeah, okay, 9, 10. I mean, honestly, pretty good defense. The Immortal gets to stay alive here as well. I don't think that was ever really in any danger. 8 more roaches still just coming out. The Queen's still coming through. Our Phoenix lifting up. These couple of Queens continue to work through that. Another Phoenix. I mean, I like a lot of what MaxPax is doing, but I don't like how many Phoenix he's losing. To me, you know, a Protoss player playing Phoenix should be 1,000 resources lost ahead, not a few hundred. So that's the part I guess I feel is the most worrying. We have lost, 5 Phoenix at this stage. It's pretty expensive when your, again, main goal in this game has been to mass up those Phoenix, so not completely convinced in that regard. Otherwise, though, I mean, we're talking about +1 attack, Immortal on the way. All of that being established too, the Evo Chamber and the Hive continuing up. And meanwhile, Serral just getting into his Baneling speed. This game, Serral will be able to work off of a better drone count. And I still think he might have to try and be playing a little bit of catch-up here, but with a better drone count, and considering how he played last time, I can absolutely see him making it happen this time compared to last time, which was a little bit messier towards the end of the day. We just see our units continuing down to the bottom. +2 melee, +1 carapace, adrenal glands all coming up. Robo Bay continuing through, Prism about to finish, Observer starting. Just seeing a few drones continue to transfer and move around a little bit. I mean, obviously a bit of calm before more storm. Robo Facility and a Robo Bay. More tech on the way out here, as we do have ourselves. Apparently none of the observers in the game watching the Phoenix come by and kill some drones. I was like, surely if I swap to enough observers, one of them will be watching these Phoenix. No, not a single one. Alright, Wardy observing on the case. Phoenix come back up to the corner, and we do have Adrenal Glands, +2 melee, and +1 carapace. So Serral again focusing a lot on these Ling upgrades. Really looking to utilize those as he moves through, and obviously as you hit +2 melee, you can obviously get the Banelings to one-shot probes as well, and I think that is going to be a pretty sizable factor a bit further down the line. Storm +2 attack, we see the Colossus coming up as well, 2 more Zealots also producing here. As our army just pulls back into the center, we do have our Phoenix coming through, and a couple of Zealots continue to chase down Banelings for the moment as well. Just going to see our Phoenix lifting up a whole bunch of these additional drones. So 4 drones going down, 5, 6 drones going down. Phoenix doing a pretty good job of this. And again, Adrenal Glands, +1 carapace, 3 more Vipers, all still in production. With the Vipers coming out, you're going to have an answer to the Colossi. It's just a question of, can these Vipers survive the Phoenix to get those abducts off? Or are the Phoenix going to cause too much trouble? It Parasitic bombs might be used on the Phoenix to start working through those as well. That is an option. So I'll get extra spines as well as he's ready to continue kind of setting himself up into just a little bit of a better position. As our Phoenix come back through and get a couple lifts, but nothing major for the moment. So the Phoenix fall back and join up with these Colossi. The Archon's going to begin to move forward a little bit as well, and I mean, like I say, it's really going to come down to Serral's ability to deal with that. As he's wolfing in some Banes there just at home, yes. I was wondering if these Lings might become Banes to hit this mineral line, or if they even need to. Adrenal Glands just help to shred those Zealots, +2/+1 obviously helping as well. As we do see a first Storm coming down, Serral kind of engaged in. The Storm dropped, and so I was like, yeah, actually, I guess I don't like this. Parasitic Bomb's kind of fun, because it actually hits the Phoenix, and if they go to the Colossi, it hits the Colossi too, so it's also very unique. As our Great Spire on the way, so Brood Lord's a possibility as time passes by. First Queen going down already, second Queen, third Queen. Okay, a few Queens, no transfusions. Some Zealots that Serral has to deal with over here as Serral continues to have to go down one ramp. Those Storms were not good, because the Banelings, while they took Storm damage, none of them got killed before reaching the units, so they actually just took damage and then still blew up on everything. You need to have 2 Storms on the Banelings. If you don't get 2, the Banes don't die before reaching units, and then the damage you deal just doesn't matter at all. And Serral is actually just going to absolutely dominate this fight. The couple of ducks on the other Colossi was a big deal also, and that's just going to be Roach Ravager storming forward, picking away at a bit of everything. Very nicely done. Phoenix coming back over, Ravager's being picked off. And it does look as though we've got ourselves Serral heading up to being, well, pretty much just maxed out against a 120 supply MaxPax. Serral just great fight, obviously, and I mean, he still has the Vipers alive too, so he can use those if there's a couple new tech units popping out. We're going to go 8 High Templar from MaxPax, but Serral's already coming across the map, so they don't have time to build up energy for Storm. We're going to morph half into Archons, so 2 Archons, and then get, 4 of them building up energy, but I think Serral goes before Storm is ready, quite frankly. Honestly, I feel like High Templar should have been the first thing you build on the follow-up here to at least start building up the Storm energy. Yeah, be morphs in the Archons. We do see the Vipers having to Parasitic Bomb the Phoenix instead of doing anything else, but that's kind of fine. I mean, these Banes are just going to solo everything else, and that's GG. Serral is going to take Game 2, tying us 1-1, and allowing Game 3 to come out here. Again, in corner, it is going to be our blue Zerg player. This is Serral. And in the top left-hand corner, our right Protoss from Psystorm, MaxPax. Ad happy today? I'm ad happy every day. Turns out, running ads is really good. And I'm not sorry. So there. At least I own it, right? I actually was looking at my April stats. You guys want to hear some numbers? In April, 75% of my Twitch income was via ads. So, every time you all complain about ads and all of this, and I don't get me wrong, I do run more ads than other channels. But I would literally have to, like, quadruple my sub count to make up for not running the ads that I run. Which seems, would you guys rather quadruple the sub count, or would you guys rather just watch some ads between matches? I reckon we'd rather watch ads between matches. That's my guess. If you guys want to take us to like 4,000 subscribers, I will not run ads for the month. I mean, that works for me. you guys can choose. Go wild. Yeah, the ads have actually been very good lately. Can't complain about the ad rates, and that's why we're running a lot of them, because it helps us to fund StarCraft. That's what it's all about, so if you were wondering, that is why. Game 3, Serral MaxPax. Overlord coming across the map. Very, very exciting move. Someone right now is thinking, man, I'm so glad Wardy is watching this Overlord. For every comment I see that's like, why are we watching this Overlord? I always think, there must be someone who's out there thinking, man, I'm so happy I get to watch exactly where this Overlord is pathing. Incredible. If I gift 4K subs right now, no ads. If you gift 4K subs right now, I will not run ads for the month, sure. If you want to drop $20,000, then go wild. I mean, like, I don't think that's a good idea for you. I guess it depends what region you're from, because if you drop 4K subs in a region where a sub is $2, then it obviously doesn't make up for the ads, right? So, you know. I guess that's a thing. Anyways, we do have ourselves Stargate coming up, Link Speed coming through. And we do just have ourselves, yeah, Queen coming up. And getting this ready to rumble for the moment, so... Everything getting set, our Adept coming over, Drone taking some shots, Queen taking a bit of damage. You just see now Adept continuing through to work our way through some drones, so getting a couple of kills early on. Spore gets cancelled up right here, and the Queen is going to come back over, getting a little inject down. Obviously got another gate at the front here from MaxPax as he's just playing this Stargate opening. First Oracle on the way out. Ling, though, in the base again, Serral has been consistently able to get in and just scout with these Zerglings. Multiple times in this series at this point, he's just walked straight in to see exactly what's going on. That's kind of crazy. Oracle will be finishing up. We do have ourselves the Warp Gate continuing through. The Stalker continues to ping at the Overlord, which gets high ground, so we'll have to have the Oracle here to finish that Overlord off. And the Lings of Serral are just backing away, so they're not even there if the Stalker goes out to chase the Overlord. Okay, now they're... Okay, I kind of like this. Going to go to the third base, while the Stalker and the Oracle are over on the right side. The Lings now hit the left, but there was a defensive position on the Adept there, and that means there's not really much to be done. And that will be that. Did Serral go 14 hatch? I honestly don't know. I was actually reading Twitch stuff, if I'm going to be honest. I don't know what the opening was. He's going 15 hatch before Overlord every single game. There you go. Yeah, he did get the hatchery in location every time, right? He's been really wanting to get this hatch up on the right position. You know, so often I'm like, and there's the hatchery out of position. And this game is actually interesting. I completely ignored it. Hashtag Wardy things, man. Hashtag Wardy things. Forging Twilight Council coming up. Nexus on the way. And you have our Adepts coming by and picking away at a couple of these creep tumors. Oracle sat overhead, and the Adepts do not shade through. The Queens get there to keep the Oracles at bay. You do find a bit of a weird direction in, but honestly, I feel like only 3 drones from that is not that great. It felt like it should have been so much more. We get a 4th, but we don't want to take too much damage on the Oracles, so MaxPax will just leave at 4. 4's, you know, respectful damage. It's not nothing, but there's also 4 drones at like 5 and a bit minutes. It's not like the first Oracle got in and got 3 drones, and then, you know, a couple more straight away with the second Oracle. This was pretty delayed damage from the Oracles, and of course, the later that damage happens, the less overall impact it has on the economy. So that definitely has an impact as we just have our Oracles and Adepts together going to move toward the natural. But not going to get very far. I mean, the Adepts threaten the shade, mostly picking up information. MaxPax does not want to come through with that at all. And Serral continues through to his melee upgrade as Oracle Adept moves over the left side. Oracle picking away at the Lings. That's obviously what the Oracles are good at here. If the Lings try to fight the Adepts, Oracles are meant to provide that support. Do we lose another drone? Nope. 3 workers again. Honestly, I don't mind it. You know, 3 workers and... Oh, did we lose an Oracle as well? Okay, 3 workers, but you lost an Oracle and you lost the Adepts. And now you gotta really wonder, was it really worthwhile all this damage that MaxPax tried to do for how much it cost him? Yeah, I mean, drones are nice, like I said, don't get me wrong. Killing drones is always the overall goal. And Adepts aren't the most kind of like, you know, needy thing right now. It's not the most kind of, oh god, I need those. The Oracle going down, well, you still got 2 others. It's not bad. I feel like it could have been better, right, at the end of the day. I think you generally would have wanted more for what you lost there. Stalkers. Coming around down to the south. Going to go for a couple of these Overlords. Going to get 1. We're going to get 2. Picking away at these straight away. There's our Stalkers, now Oracles. We'll continue down to the bottom. And Overlord taking some damage. Our Baneling Nest continues up. And again, Roach Ravagers continuing in, plus 2 melee, Roach speed, all of that continuing. Our Baneling speed is also coming out. As our unit's just going to go and chill out around the bottom. 2 upgrades and charge all producing. Lings go for a bit of a dive forward, and see now Ravager's pulling away to the bottom side. Ling's going to peel out to the right as well. Roach speed starts up, our infestation pit coming down. A little revelation, cheeky one just onto these units for the moment. Oracles come back over the left side. Prism is starting up. We do have our Zealots moving back out to the right in our Lings. It's going to keep on moving down the bottom. So action still happening. Zealots over the right-hand side. Trying to see what we can get up to here. 2 upgrades. Soon to be done. I mean, with double upgrades, you got quite a bit of power on the side of MaxPax. Storm's continuing through, going after a little bit of this creep spread. Ling Roach Ravager coming over as well. Stalker's poking, Queen's is taking damage. Ling's going to catch the Zealot run by on the right side. So actually just going to jump on these Stalkers. They're not going to get much of a chance to do anything there. As we have our Lings, Roaches continuing through. A couple of these Stalkers still being forced back, still being kept away for the moment. Custom sets up on the right. We do see our Ling Roach through the center, and again, Ling Bane continues to the top. Our Stalkers and Colossi on the left going to get a couple shots off. Ling's already taking damage. He's basically going to bust the Stalker. What are we going to do? We've got to decide if we're going to go through or not. Decides not to. Lose a few drones as Zealots show up on the other side of the map. Lings come in, they wrap around, the Banelings continue to produce here. Just going to see a lot of these Zealots continue to drop. Some of it's cleaned up. The foil drones are pretty much the only damage found. I mean, MaxPax buying time though, and getting closer and closer to being maxed. Quite a delay before starting his 3-3, obviously 2-2. We're talking about those double upgrades being powerful for him, but took a while to start the next round. He's also now going to start up Storms and High Templar. He's about to have Colossus range. I mean, this army's looking great for MaxPax. Serral's making the necessary improvements to his own army as well, though. The Vipers are obviously going to have a pretty big role to play here. And I would expect these Vipers to have a pretty good shot at, obviously, getting rid of the Colossi, but you will have High Templar on the map, so it's going to be a dance of, High Templar versus Vipers versus Colossi, and that's what makes up these really fun later game PvZ scenarios. As this game progresses through, 11 minutes, we do start to kind of, toy with the idea of it being later game here. It's not like a super late game army, but we're getting to the, different kind of forms of splash damage. Storm not ready yet. First feedback does land. We do land the second feedback, so no abducts. I think that's going to be enough to force Serral away. He did kill the High Templar off or force them into Archons, but again, that was only after the feedbacks. And yeah, that means that the Vipers do not get to do what they do best, abducting those Colossi. And actually, MaxPax deciding that this is a moment to move on forward. Serral's retreating his Overlords away. Vipers are trying to find a hatchery to get some energy off of, and then they can perhaps come through and get some abducts second time around. Lings, Banes, Carapace, Melee. Now an Ultra's Cavern from Serral, which I guess when you look at everything else that's going on here kind of makes sense, kind of adds up. Zealot's hitting the right side again. MaxPax has been pretty darn consistent with that. Zealot's running by repeatedly. Ling's on the other side also dealing damage, though, as now we come forward with the Stalkers to try and poke for some hits. The Bane's about to arrive, which will... there's not really many pros, but I guess we can go for the few Zealots. Well, okay. Some of them just forced to kind of activate early. Storm was dropped, and the Stalkers actually wandered into that just to lose a little bit of their shields early on with the Vipers getting energy up. It's still a question of whether they can actually get some abducts going, because the Colossi every time so far have just not been touched. That still, I think, is the biggest problem here as Serral looks to take this fight. He's not far from extra upgrades. They would be amazing to have, but I just don't know if you've got the freedom of getting to those upgrades at this point. A couple of queens getting knocked down. Ling Bane still over on the right. +3 melee. Chitin is playing. Building up as well as our stasis ward going down. There's an abduct. Oh, he got 3 of the Colossi abducted. There's one single storm. That was the only storm that went down, as the feedbacks came in late. The feedback hit as the abduct had already been casted. That's a huge deal. Another Colossus going down. 11 drones going down the right side. These Banes going to crash through. A bunch of Zealots going down as well. Just seeing our carriers continue to produce in this army of Serral on the left side. Yeah, good cleanup, right? Just getting rid of a lot of the tech. And, okay, losing drones, but manageable still, I was going to say, but then he's actually down about 20 workers. MaxPax has 91 probes. His economy apparently just going untouched at the moment in this game. Nexus tries to come down in the forward position, but Serral was here at least. Oh, Archon's not ready. Ultra might actually have a pretty good time here, as the Lings are going to get rid of one of the Archons before it finishes. The second Archon gets a single shot off. That's a great catch to start this off for Serral. Obviously, anything you can do to kind of get kills before damage is dealt is amazing, and there's a couple of Colossi putting in some work against those 2 Ravagers. Army retreats away around the right side for the moment. Well, we kill off the base. Serral losing a chunk of supply. MaxPax is already rebuilt. He's obviously on his way to carriers as well, so with carriers in play, he is going to have an even better army, and Serral needs to at some point be able to afford the switch to Corruptors, which right now he cannot afford. He doesn't have the gas to even think about the switch into Corruptors, so we're not quite in line to do much with that at the moment, so that's got to be a little bit of a concern, and kind of wonder how this will continue going. Prism, for the moment, coming out around the right-hand side. Our Ultras just going to take some damage straight away as they jump into the Stalkers. We actually go for a Parasitic Bomb on the Oracle, which, yeah, I guess over time it would actually kill those Oracles off, and killing Oracles would be nice. Oh, come on, it's 1 HP, man! The other Oracle peeled away before it died off, as we do actually hit the left side with a few Lings. This right side going to get cancelled once again. Now MaxPax is being kept to only 4 bases, so his economy might become an issue over time. You know, each of these bases is at least some mineral patches missing, so it's not like he has 4 full bases by a long stretch. And that means that his worker count is also not as meaningful as it once was. You know, 80 workers across 4 full bases is brilliant. 8 workers against 4 bases that don't have all the mineral patches means you will have oversaturation somewhere. But has it taken too long for Serral to get to this point, and does he just not have an answer to the carriers? I don't think he does. I mean, he's got queens, but he needs a tremendous fight on the ground to allow the queens to then actually have a shot to go on the carriers, which is not usually how you want to be having to fight this. Initial trade comes through. 4 more queens on the way until the spy is done. That's pretty much all Serral can build. He does get the Parasitic Bomb down, which definitely helps. Oh, there's no detection, there's no Overseer or anything, so the Mothership is going to allow MaxPax to take a very good trade on the high ground, as we can't fight back against it. Stalkers continue through. A couple of these Banes continue to get picked away at. The Queen in the corner goes down. The drones are being chased away. My friends, I think we really do have ourselves just too much army here from MaxPax. I don't think Serral's cleaning this up. 7 Corruptors doesn't seem like enough to me either. And he also still needs to find Overseers. I mean, where's the detection to actually see these units to actually be able to fight back? That's just not in existence so far. Our drone started to drop. We are over here with a single Ultra getting a few pros, but it's nothing like the drone count that's going down. I think MaxPax might be looking to get through to the next round of the Kung Fu Cup, knocking out the Week 1 champion Serral. Lings, Banes, Ultras, full counter-attack mode here. And Serral is, I mean, this base has no workers on it. And you can base trade all you like, but at some point you still have to fight this army, and I just don't see how you take the trade against this army at the moment. The Ultralists having in trouble. A couple Corruptors continue to peel away. A Queen going down. It does seem as though I have 41 probes dead. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're doing great damage on the other side, but Serral cannot fight the Protoss force. GG, MaxPax knocks Serral out, and that is going to be a Protoss advancing.